Ah! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the UFC 313 betting video. My name is Young Pasty, aka the White Boy Wonder. I got 5 banger bets coming your way. Got a long shot parlay. We'll go over all my leans, bets and plays I'm considering, but I have not put official money on yet. And lastly, my stayaways, bets, fights, plays I recommend you do not put your hard-earned money on. Recapping last week, as we always do. Another positive week, guys. Let's go. Plus 1.118 units on all the bets. Hey, we'll take another positive week, and we'll roll that momentum into this week. If you're new to the channel, and you haven't, subscribe, like, comment, share. Support goes a long way. Got a Patreon. It's free. That's where I put all my bets when I put them in and place them. Like, for example, I put all of these bets in here on Sunday. So the odds usually sway the opposite way. You got to get them in early while they're good. So, yeah, Patreon, it's free. Links in the description. Let's freaking go, guys. UFC 313. These are the 5 official bets. Starting with bet number 1. And let me just say this. Bet number 1 has hit 4 weeks in a row. I soar all these bets by confidence, guys. So bet number 1 is always my most confident play of the week. And here we go again. Let's make it 5 in a row. A 2-pick parlay. Joshua Van and Mauricio Ruffy. Minus 118. We are putting 1.5 units on it. This is my most confident play of the week, guys. We'll go over each fighter. Joshua Van, man, going up against the Rei Tsuruya. Undefeated, and let's just say, the undefeateds in 2025 have not shown up, man. All the O's have been sliced to ones. So I see it incoming again. Joshua Van has much more UFC experience than this guy. He can withstand the takedowns, which is this guy's biggest threat in his path to victory. And if he does get taken down, he's popping back up right quick. Has better cardio, better striking. Yeah, I see this going the full 3 rounds. Joshua Van by decision. So I think he takes care of business. Second leg of the parlay, Mauricio Ruffy. Going up against Bobby King Green. All right, the King's been dethroned for a while. Honestly, Bobby was never a king to begin with. He never even got a belt or was close to it. And I don't want to shit on you, Bobby Green, but this is not your fight, man. Mauricio Ruffy's going to put the business on. And don't get that last fight twisted where he went to decision with James Yontop. Like, James Yontop is tough. Missed weight twice. So, yeah, you know what? Mauricio Ruffy, one of the 4 elite fighting nerds, he's going to come in and ultimately knock out Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green is washed at this point. Yeah, Mauricio Ruffy, heavy favorite for a reason. We put both of these guys together. Minus 118, 1.5 units. Let's go. Now, bet number 2. I was just talking up bet number 1, how it's hit 4 weeks in a row. Bet number 2 has, unfortunately, lost 3 weeks in a row. So, I had to bring in the big guns. I had to bring in CHAMA. Alex Pereira, minus 118. We are putting 1 unit on it. Alex Pereira, CHAMA, is going to come in and save bet number 2 and going to redeem ourselves in this slot. Now, why did I pick him? Champion, only losses to Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira lost to Alex Pereira, right? No. Only losses to Izzy, which was a rematch, and he was winning up until that point. I mean, he's just a force to be reckoned with. That left hook, the kicks. Honestly, Ankalaev is too stiff for me. The wrestling threat, I'm not worried about at all. Even if Alex Pereira does get taken down and bodied, it's a 5-round fight, and we've seen it before. He just gets back up and handles business. So, Alex Pereira, CHAMA, retaining the belt, putting Ankalaev away. I think he gets a 3rd or 4th round KO. So, Alex Pereira, solid pick. Let's get us back on track for bet number 2, CHAMA. Let's go. Now, bet number 3. Now it's crazy. I have something to say about every slot for these bets, but bet number 3 last week fell apart. I mean, I told you guys to cash out if you did. You got your money back. If you didn't, you won, maybe a quarter of a unit because, the Castaneda fight got canceled. My 3-pick parlay of the week last week was Castaneda over 1.5 rounds for that fight as well, and then plus Mario Pinto. Obviously, the Castaneda fight got canceled. Mario Pinto took care of business. I didn't include that in the official plays because I technically cashed out, but at the end of the day, it did technically cash. So this week, let's move on to a better foot. Another 3-pick parlay for bet number 3. Let's go. Here we go. Leg number 1, Carlos Leal. Leg number 2, Curtis Blaydes. Leg number 3, Mairon Santos. Put all 3 of those bad boys together. You got plus 100. Even money. We are putting 1 unit on it. All 3 of these guys, excuse me, confident picks. Now, the odds on them are crazy. You can't straight up money line them. That's why I'm going to put them all together because I'm confident each one of these fighters will win. Carlos Leal going up against a washed Alex Morono, going to take care of business. Curtis Blaydes, going up against this incoming Russian. I mean, Curtis Blaydes is ranked number 5th. It's just too big of a jump up in competition for me at this point. This guy was also on roids, so I don't like that look at all. Curtis Blaydes is going to handle business there as well. And then Mairon Santos, I think he does get the job done against Francis Marshall, but it will be a tough fight. Nevertheless, though, I think Mairon Santos ends up getting a decision or a late round KO. Put all those 3 bad boys together, plus 100. We're putting 1 unit on it. And we move on to bet number 4. We got Ignacio Bahamondes. Minus 110. We're putting 1 unit on it. I got them at pick 'em odds. I believe Ignacio's sitting somewhere minus 125, minus 130. So, he's now come to a slight favorite at this point. Ignacio going up against a Jalin Turner. And now I think the last fight up against Manuel Torres really swayed my opinion for this because Jalin Turner really likes to come out crazy and waste all his energy in the first round. And Ignacio's built for 3 rounds, has great striking, has great takedown defense. The only thing I'm maybe considered about is a Jalin Turner sub. I mean, he's called a tarantula for a reason, but we really haven't seen it for a while because he's been going up against pretty good competition and getting his ass whooped. So, Ignacio Bahamondes, minus 110. We're putting 1 unit on it. And now, bet number 5. Let me move my glasses up. They're falling off. Bet number 5. Justin Gaethje. We got him at plus 124. We're putting 1 unit on it. Yeah, we're going crazy this week, guys. Not going crazy. Was a total of 5.5 units total for all 5 bets. But anywho, Justin Gaethje going up against Fiziev. I think, it's the rematch, man. It's the rematch. Justin Gaethje took care of business the first time. I think there was some suspect judge in there that made it a draw for some reason, but ultimately should have been a unanimous decision, not a majority decision. Anywho, I mean, he pieced him up in that last fight. And, Justin Gaethje, after that fight, went on to lose to Max Holloway. Kind of give him a pass for that. Max Holloway, crazy elite striker. And everyone's trying to, give him grief for the KO. And guys, it was in the last second in the 5th round when they were throwing down in the middle, just throwing crazy shit. So I'm not going to knock him for his KO loss there. And then Fiziev went on to lose to Gamrot and got injured. So now he's coming back off an injury, going up against a Justin Gaethje, who is out here to redeem himself after his brutal look in the Max Holloway loss. So Justin Gaethje, the underdog, I got to roll with him, man. Plus 124, we're putting 1 unit on it. Let's go. Those are the 5 official bets for UFC 313, guys. Let's freaking go. Let me take a little sip of water. And we move on to the next section, guys. This is the Longshot Parlay of the week. And we're sitting at plus 2,514. And it's only 3 legs. And it's not impossible. And it's not too crazy. And it's a long shot parlay. But I'm really not asking for too much here. Okay, guys. Let's go over all 3 legs. Image is on the other side. Right there. Leg number 1. Ignacio KO. Now, like I just said, I think Ignacio gets the job taken care of with Jalin Turner. I think Jalin Turner gasses himself out, and Ignacio pulls off a KO. Probably late 2nd round, in my opinion. So, Ignacio KO. 2nd, Ruffy KO. We already went over him. He's already a pick in my most confident picks. or most confident picks. He's in my most confident bet number 1. But he's gonna handle King Green, man, or King Green. He's gonna handle Bobby Green. I don't like calling him King. He got his name legally changed to that. It pisses me off because now we're forced to call him that. Fuck off. Anywho, yeah, man, Ruffy KO. You'll see it. It'll come in the 2nd or 3rd round though. Green's tough. Lastly, Bruno Ferreira KO. Yes, he's gonna. I see him. I've seen this freaking. I've gone to bed all week seeing this image replay in my head. He is going to flatline Armen Petrosyan, man. It's 1st round KO. Okay, Bruno. That's not the leg, but that's what I see happening, man. First 2 or 3 minutes, Bruno's going to establish dominance and fuck him up. So Bruno KO. He's gonna flatline Armen. Probably gonna take him a minute or 2 to get up. That's my opinion. Dude's got really heavy hands. So, now usually with these long shot parlays, I always like the legs individually too. So that's always something you could look at. But putting all three of them together, plus 2,514 for the long shot parlay of the week. Let's go. We move on to my leans. These are bets and plays I'm considering, but I have not put official money on yet. So first, we'll start with some fighters that I like. I like Chris Gutierrez. Now, unofficially, I do have a little side bet on him at plus 100. He opened up at plus 150 or something, and the lines shot down drastically. I think he's sitting at a minus 105, and it'll probably flip to a favorite come fight time. But yeah, John Castaneda now is going up against Chris Gutierrez on short notice, had to cut weight twice. Chris Gutierrez was planning on this fight. Not fighting him, but planning on fighting on this particular day. So the leg kicks, the experience, Chris Gutierrez. I think it's a good number getting him at plus 100, minus 105 right now. I think still good too. So next, I alluded to this when I was going over bet number 3. Francis Marshall plus 3.5 on the points. I think this fight goes to decision. And I think that Francis Marshall will be able to steal a round. I think that I think it'll be the 1st round. I think he's going to get a takedown somehow, use all his energy to try and, hold the takedown, but gas himself out. But he's tough enough to go 3 rounds, and we've seen that. So that's how I think the fight's going to play out. I think Mairon Santos is going to put on a nice little UFC debut show against Francis Marshall. But Francis Marshall is tough. I think he steals a round. Plus 3.5 is a good play. I've been looking everywhere for the odds. They have not been released at the time of this video, but it's probably something that's going to hit the official plays. Ultimately, I know it kind of goes against bet number 3, but it doesn't, right? Both of these can cash. Santos can win. Francis Marshall can hit the plus 3.5 on the scorecards. So that's my opinion of what will happen. Next fighter, Amanda Lemos, sitting at plus 110. She was a bigger dog earlier in the week, plus 130, plus 140, some places I think I saw. But she's going up against a young Lucindo, 23, 24 years old. The experience is going to show here. I mean, everyone's going crazy about the age gap. Amanda Lemos is 37. But look, in her last fight, she's shown that she's still quick on the feet. She's shown that her age really isn't a factor at this point, man. I think she's still got it. She has cardio. She's still quick. That's the thing. When these fighters get older, they lose their speed. But she's still got it, man. And she's quicker than most. So I think she's a good dog to lay money on, plus 110. Again, these are all leans, so nothing that's official. I did put a Chris Gutierrez little side bet in, but that's not official either. Next, we go on to some round props that I like. So got a few of them here. First one is for the main event. Alex Pereira. I think this goes over 2.5 rounds easy, sitting at minus 166. Ankalaev's tough. Ankalaev's not going to put out Alex Pereira, I don't believe, in the first few rounds. And I think Pereira needs to kind of, work his way up to his KO like he usually does. It might come out of nowhere, but anywho, minus 166 for that. I think that's a pretty solid play. You could even do that individually. Next, Gaethje, over 2.5 rounds. Yeah, I think the Gaethje-Fiziev fight goes over 2.5 rounds, minus 135. You could play that individually too. I mean, we saw it last time. It went to decision last time. And nobody was, I mean, could have been close to a finish? Maybe. But I think that both of them are tough enough to withstand it. And we just saw Justin Gaethje go 5 rounds with Max Holloway. Didn't get knocked out till the last second. So over 2.5 sitting at minus 135. I think that's a good solo play. Amanda Lemos versus Lucindo over 2.5 rounds, minus 260. I mean, that's, all these women fights usually go over. The only thing I'm maybe concerned about is a submission threat from either of them, but not really. So minus 260, good little parlay piece. Blaydes, Curtis Blaydes fight under 2.5 rounds, minus 130. Someone's getting knocked out. Someone's getting knocked out here. It's just, I don't see this game plan from either of them. We're gonna grind it out and beat them up and win on the scorecards. No, someone's getting knocked out here, man. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 130. Joshua Van going up against the Tsuruya. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 210. All his fights go to decision, bro. Almost all of them, minus a KO or 2. So Tsuruya's tough. He doesn't want to lose his O. I think it goes to decision. Joshua Van, over 2.5 rounds, minus 210. Lastly, the Carlos Leal fight, over 2.5 rounds, minus 110. I think that, yes, Alex Morono is washed. Okay? He's washed. His time has passed. He's going to lose probably every fight unless he gets some complete scrub or pulls off a miracle. But he's tough, right? He's in the UFC. I think he'll last all 3 rounds with Leal. So, I mean, Morono's only 34, Leal's 30, so it's not like he's 40 or 44, you know what I mean? He's not extremely old when it comes to UFC terms, so over 2.5 rounds, sitting at minus 110. Last section of the leans is my fighter props that I like, and I alluded to this before as well. In the Longshot Parlay, I like all of those legs individually. So Ignacio KO sitting at plus 275. Ruffy KO sitting at plus 105. And Bruno KO sitting at plus 240. And lastly, I like the Leal decision sitting at plus 175. So I like all 4 of those fighter props. You could combine them 1, 2, 3, 4, or do them individually, you know what I mean? Either way, well, could even do a little round robin if you choose to. But anywho, I like all those plays when it comes to fighter props. Obviously, Alex Pereira KO, but it's not something that I'm like, ooh, I really love that. You know what I mean? Is it bound to happen? Probably. Do I see it? It's probably going to happen. But I don't know, man. Something tells me that it could go to decision. That's why, I'm confident in the over 2.5. But I don't know. There's just something in the back of my head that says don't put Alex Pereira KO, so I'm just staying away from it. Speaking of stayaways, let's move into the stayaway section. I only have a few here. First off, the Santos versus Diaz fight. This is a low-level middleweight competition. I'm not really excited for it. I don't have any money on it anywhere. I think Santos is going to win because Ozzy Diaz is a scrub and not UFC worthy. But is Santos UFC worthy? I don't know. We'll see at this point. I think that fight goes over 2.5 rounds. But something I'm just staying away from. Next, the Ignacio round props. So Ignacio versus Turner. I did predict the Ignacio KO. But I just don't know when. And the line's sitting at 1.5. And I'm like, ugh. I don't know. Before or after, I don't know. So I'm just avoiding it. Lastly, the Ruffy round props. Again, Ruffy is going to get the KO, but how long will Bobby Green be able to withstand Ruffy and his striking? That's the question. So, yeah, those are my 3 stayaways. And that's the end of the video, guys. We went over all the official bets, the long shot parlay, the leans, the stayaways. If you made it this far, again, appreciate your support. It goes a long way. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Patreon is in the description. Subscribe. It's free. Get all my plays when I put them in. And let's make some freaking money this week. Let's make it number 3. Let's make it week number 3 of a positive week. Let's have bet number 1 cash again. And let's have the curse of bet number 2 wipe away. CHAMA. Let's go. Young Pasty, out.